video, I'm going to show you how two developers can cooperate using GitHub and Android Studio, to write their code, commit it, push it, and then do some merging of their code. So what I have here is this Android Studio is running under my account. So I have the project under the temp directory. If I switch over to this other directory, that is another GitHub account I set up. This is my robot. So we'll call this guy robot, and the other one is me. So let's switch back to me. Right now we're both synced to the GitHub repo, which is right here. I just have a couple commits, initial commits, and everything is fine. So let's say I go in and start doing some work. I am going to do, my first change. I'm going to commit that. So it's going to be my first change. It shows right there. I'm going to commit and push that. Push it, and then let's do another one. My second change. Commit and push. I'm gonna change that to my second change. So now this, I have two changes that I have already pushed over, and you see, if we go to the commits, it'll get updated. My first change, my second change are there. Okay, now let's switch to the other developer, the robot, I'm calling him. So he's over here, and he's gonna make his changes. So first, we'll call it a robot first change because he talks like a robot. So robot first change, and he's going to, let's first just commit it locally, right? Cancel that. I didn't want to do these things anyway. Just commit this locally. So he's got that change committed in his local master branch. But what happened is, of course, right now the GitHub master branch is ahead, right? It has these two changes, which the robot doesn't have, right? So when you go to the robot, you see under here the log, he just has this change and this change, and then his change. So let's say at this point the robot, gets the email from me, and he's like, oh, I made some changes. You gotta pull those in. How does he do that? Well, he's gonna do a git pull, right? So note that right now both of us are working on the master branch, right? So this is what you want to do when you get started with Git. Just have everybody work on master, at least until, as long as you can, as long as you're still confused about Git and stuff, it just helps keep things simpler. And so there's only one master branch. Everybody's committing to the master branch, and what happens is, somebody else committed to the master branch, namely me. So now the robot has to pull things from the master branch, so he's up to date, and he can do that. Put in here git and pull right there, or just this button here actually. Update the project. When you hit that, it's called update project, but it's going to do a git pull. You can either merge or rebase. We're going to just let that default, which is going to be a merge. So for now, we're just going to merge in those changes. Do that, it's updating. There's some merge conflicts here. So it says resolve them before continue. I'm going to go hit merge there, and you see that this is the problem. What about first change and my change? Because we both changed in the first, the same area, right? So under public class main activity, we both added those lines, so it doesn't know what's up with that. So in this case, I want all of them, so I'm just going to click here and click here. So say, yeah, I want everything. So save changes and finish. That's it. Nothing else. And there we go. So we had a conflict, we resolved it, and now I am up to date. Update finished. If I look at my log file now, you'll see that there's this merge locally. And so I have my first change, the robot's first change. Remember, I'm the robot. I made that change, and then these are all the other changes that the human did. And we just did this merge commit, and we haven't pushed it. Sorry, that's a commit. I have to go git push and push. So this is gonna actually push that merge commit over to GitHub, and at that point, now we can go back to GitHub, reload this page, and you see everything is there. There's a merge commit, and then there's the robot's first change, and my two changes are there. Right, and that's the basic of how you work with just two people and everybody working on the master branch, right? So it is pretty straightforward. You just whenever somebody else pushes stuff to GitHub, you can go over here and see if you see that there's stuff that somebody else has pushed. You are going to hit the pull button and pull in those changes, and you're going to merge those changes with yours. And also, I'll note that you can go over here under network and get a view of what happened. So this is the merge commit, and these are the various commits, and this is pretty useful view. So you pull in all the changes, and then you make your changes and you push it. Let's just do it again. In case you didn't catch it the first time, I'm going to make another change. My third change, commit it. Robot third. I'm going to commit that locally. Robot fourth change. Commit that. And I'm going to commit and push. So we'll do it the other way. Now robot goes and gets ahead of me. So he's still pushing. Okay, push successful. We go to GitHub. We go over here. We see 8 commits. So now robot is ahead. These 2 commits, we can go over to the graphs network and see. Oh, gotta reload that. Okay, the network's up, and you can see that the robot is up, right? So robot is up. These 2, he's up to here, but if you look at mine, Android Studio, my local history shows that I'm still on the second change commit, which is over here. So I'm still back there. I'm gonna need to just pull. If I wanted to, I could pull those changes, or I could I'm gonna go this time. I'm gonna avoid conflicts by writing down here. So my third change, I'm gonna commit this. So let's say we're both working at the same time. So I'm working, and I did my third change and my fourth change. I think I got the fourth. I'm gonna commit there, and well, I just committed. Now let's see if I try to push git. I'm gonna try to push my changes, and it's not gonna work because It says it was rejected because the remote changes need to be merged before pushing. So I need to pull the changes that the robot made and merge those, and then I can push. So I say, okay, now I will have an option of either merging or rebasing, right? So let's talk about that. Before we did the merge, which creates the merge commit, right? And now I'm going to choose rebasing. It basically works the same thing, except the rebase does not create the merge commit. So I can view the files that were updated. This is awesome. You see it added all the robot changes. And now I can finally push then. Oh, I already did that. So I can then go to code and see my fourth change. This is, I got the, this should say third change. I messed up my commit message. But you see, and there is no merge commit because I did a rebase. So the difference between merge and rebase, you have to read about that in the book. It's basically with a rebase, you redo all the code changes on top of the previous one. You change the base. The effect of it, though, is no merge commits. So when you look at the network, this is slow again. It just shows this progression, linear progression. It doesn't show this graph like that. So, some people prefer the merge commits and the graphs and, the various branches, because this, explicitly tells you that these people were working in parallel at this time, and then at this point they merged. With rebasing, you lose the merge commits, and that means that, well, when you look at the history here, you don't have this merge commit. You don't have all these merge commits. Some people like that, some people don't. You do lose data without them. So it's up to you. I say, when you're getting started, I recommend, just do merging. But after you get a hang of it, maybe you can move to rebasing if you really want this more linear history. So that's it.